too long. I apologize for taking so long to get another yoga video up. I have been kind of down. I've been really down with all of this. So I don't talk a lot about myself during yoga classes because it's not about me, it's about you and your practice. But I do suffer from anxiety and depression, and with everything kind of going on in the world, it really has gotten to me. So I had to take an extended Shavasana, but that's what yoga teaches us to do, right? It teaches us to rest when our body, our mind is telling us we need to rest. So that's what I've been doing, but I'm feeling a lot better. Things are on the up and up, right? We're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel. And so I'm here. So let's dive into some yoga class today. I'm gonna start by saying I apologize if you see a kid walk by or hear your dog whining. I guess that's par for the course when you're making a YouTube video at your home. So go ahead and find some sort of blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, and you are practicing at home on a regular basis, I highly recommend you order some of these off of Amazon or Target or wherever. They're not too expensive. If you don't have yoga blocks, I suggest maybe using a couple of books or some toilet paper rolls, anything that's gonna give you some height and bring the floor up to you, right? Okay. So wherever you are, go ahead and find a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting on a blanket to give my hips a little bit of angle, take some pressure off of them. Rooting down through both sits bones, go ahead and engage that pelvic floor. Okay, it's as if you're kind of doing a Kegel. Engage the lower abdomen and begin to lengthen through the spine. So it's more of a suggestion than an aggressive motion. We're just starting to lift here. Lifting through the heart, letting the shoulders be heavy away from the ears. Let the hands kind of just hang out wherever they feel most comfortable for you. Extending through the top of the head, the crown, one long spine here. Take a deep breath. And then maybe let those eyes start to flutter closed or find that drishti gaze. And begin to notice the breath wherever that is. Just notice it to start. Are you holding it up in your throat or high in your chest? Or does that oxygen go all the way down into the belly? Just noticing to begin with, but then really allow that breath to travel all the way down deep into the pelvic bowl if you can. And then start to slow the breath down, elongating it. Inhaling to a count of 3 if you can. Pausing at the top, and then exhaling to a count of 3 or 4. So do that a few times at your own pace. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, pause. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the next exhale, drop that chin down toward the chest, stretching through the back of the neck, and then let those shoulders hang down a little further. So feeling a stretch through the back of the neck and in the shoulders. Really tucking that chin. Still rooting down through the sits bones, still engaging that core. Inhale, take the chin, the gaze up to the sky. Stretch through that throat. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take the head back to neutral. And then take a moment here just to scan the mind's eye for any intention that's coming up for you today. Really just try to quiet the mind for 10, 20, 30 seconds and see what comes up. What's going on with you today? For me, it is trying to find joy in the little things. So whatever it is that's come up for you, take it down to just one word. So for me, it'll be joy. So take that word, bring it to the forefront of the mind, and on your next rounds of yogic breath, deep inhales and exhales, take that word with you. So inhaling joy, exhaling joy. On your next exhale, allowing that right ear to fall over to the right shoulder, deepening that stretch through the left side of the neck. Exhale through center, chin comes down to the chest, left ear to left shoulder. Taking it side to side at your own pace. It can be slow, it can be fast. Whatever your body's calling out for today. When that feels complete, we're going to make our way into child's pose. So chin comes down to chest, rolling the head up through center, and begin to make your way to hands and knees. You may absolutely take this blanket with you for extra cushion and support on those knees. I know I've said this to you guys in class before, but one of my master teachers, Diane, used to say that the body is practically perfect with the exception of the knees. They need some love and attention. Okay, so knees are wide as the mat, big toes are together. Exhale, shift the bottom over the heels and extend those fingertips toward the top of your mat. Let that chest and third eye come all the way down. Taking a few rounds of breath here. Bringing those palms together on the exhale, reach those hands for the back of the heart. So we're deepening the stretch into the triceps here. Exhale to release those hands down and then shifting up onto the knees, finding our way to tabletop. Those hands are directly underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. We're pressing all 10 finger pads into the mat, drawing that navel up and in, nice flat back. So the gaze is down at the mat, you're not looking up like me here, okay? We want the head to be an extension of the spine. Drawing that navel up and in. On your inhale, let the belly droop, open up through the heart and throat. Exhale, round the spine, tucking chin and tailbone. Inhale into cow, press into those finger pads, feel that suction through the palms. Exhale, take it into cat. Continuing like that at your own pace. One more time, each way. Meeting in tabletop, just take those hips side to side a little bit, warming up that body. Do a little bit of a wiggle, and then curling those toes under. On the exhale, you're going to just lift the knees off the mat about 6 inches. Okay, so we're engaging our core, we're pressing into the finger pads, that suction action's happening in the palms. We're working some muscles out here. Exhale, take it down. Shift back into child's pose for just a moment. Take a full inhale, full exhale here. Inhaling back up to tabletop, curling those toes under. Exhale, taking it up to downward facing dog. So the heels are still lifted right now. I'm going to take my blanket off to the side. The heels are still lifted here, right? I'm pressing into my 10 finger pads. I'm straightening my arms. I'm letting the head hang here. And then I'm going to walk it out. Exhale to lower one heel, bending the opposite knee, and then reverse. So waking up those calf muscles, stretching into the hamstrings, letting that head hang. We're making room in that cervical spine. When that's complete, lowering both heels down as far as they'll comfortably go. Here's a trick. If your heels will not reach all the way down to the floor, you can always take a blanket or something and take it underneath your heels. This is really helpful for a lot of people. Okay? Wherever you are is where you are. It's where you're meant to be, right? All right, so we're in downward facing dog. On the exhale, we're gonna shift over into plank. Inhale, take it up for downward dog. Exhale into plank. One more time. Inhale, take those hips up, lower the heels. Exhale into plank. From here, shift over onto those toes and lower all the way down to the belly. Fun. All right, so the hands are directly underneath the shoulders, rolling those shoulder blades back and together. There's very little weight in the hands here. Inhale, use those back muscles to lift the heart. So coming up into a cobra variation. Exhale, lower it down. Roll those shoulder blades back and together. Inhale, taking it up. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, lift it up. Let those hands hover, hang out here. Another round of breath. Exhale, lower down. Shifting back through tabletop. One more time, curling those toes under. Exhale, lift the hips for downward facing dog. Good. Just take one round of cleansing breath here. So big inhale. Open mouth, exhale. And then beginning to walk those hands back toward the feet. Hanging out here in a forward fold. Beginning with a nice, generous bend in the knees to start, right? Maybe you grab onto opposite elbows, sway side to side. The feet are still hip-width distance apart. And then when you're ready, beginning to straighten those legs, but leaving a micro bend in the knees. Let the head hang, stretching into the back and the hamstrings. Releasing those hands down to the floor. You can use blocks here if you need to. That's totally fine. Just bend one knee and then the other. So walking it out. Maybe you're here. And when you're ready, rolling all the way up, one vertebra at a time, rolling those shoulder blades back and together. Let those palms shine forward. Pause here in mountain pose. I say this in class all the time. This is my favorite pose. We're not doing a whole lot here, but it just demands assertiveness and solidarity and just feeling unshakable. This is something that we have to practice in life, right? Because there's a lot of things that are going to try to knock you down. And mountain pose is where we practice being unbreakable. When you're ready, inhale those arms up overhead. Find length here, so continue to draw that belly button in toward the spine. The biceps are framing the ears here, finding length through the crown. On an exhale, palms face away, swan dive to forward fold. Stick that bottom back behind you. Let the hands come all the way down. If they won't reach the floor, you can bring them up to blocks, that's okay. Inhale up halfway with a flat back, okay? So it looks like this. You're in an L shape. Hands are on tops of thighs or on shins. You're bringing those shoulder blades back together and drawing that belly button up and in. Exhale, let it come all the way down. And then reverse your swan dive, taking those arms up overhead, palms pressed together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breathing here. Coming back to your intention. For me, it's joy. For you, it can be whatever it is. Let's do that one more time. Hands come down to our sides. Roll the shoulder blades back. Find your stable mountain pose. Inhale the arms up overhead. Finding length, palms face away. Exhale, swan dive to forward fold. Inhaling up halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse the swan dive. Take it up overhead, palms pressed together. Hands come down to heart center. Connecting those thumbs to the sternum, to the chest. Feel the beat of the heart. Noticing what there is to notice here. When you're ready, take those those feet wide. So if you have to turn so that you're facing away from wherever you're watching this, go ahead and turn. The feet are wide. Okay, the toes are pointing out to the corners of the room. Hands are still at heart center, and on the exhale, you're gonna bend those knees and take them out to the side. So really engaging the inner thighs here and bringing everything up to the midline of the body. Some people call this horse pose, fire angle. I like to call it goddess pose. So find your inner goddess here. Hanging out, you're still drawing that navel in, you're still lengthening through the spine. Find one more round of breath here. And then on an exhale, you can bring that right hand down to the thigh and extend the left arm over. Maybe you bring the forearm down to the thigh. Inhale, come up through center and take it to the other side. Finding some side stretches here. Inhale, come through center. We're still working those legs. Take that left shoulder in, stretching that inner thigh. And then the other side. Good, straightening through the legs, letting those toes point forward. Shift those hips back, take that belly button in. Hold here halfway. Really draw that belly button in, and then exhale, take it all the way down. Option to take it down to your blocks, or all the way down to the mat. Remembering your breath, it's so important. I heard that the CDC is actually recommending deep breaths right now. I thought that was kind of funny. Yogis have been recommending it for thousands of years. Walking the hands over to that right foot, trying to reach the nose to the knee. If it doesn't really reach, that's okay. You can imagine it. The brain doesn't know the difference. What do I mean when I say the brain doesn't know the difference? Well, with placebo, when we think we're doing something, we can actually trick our body into reacting, right? So if you imagine that your nose is touching your knee, then you're getting the same benefits as if it were actually touching your knee. Same with so much of the world right now. If you imagine good things will come. All right, begin to heel toe those feet in. And then walk those hands out, extend the legs back if you need to. Find your downward facing dog. Inhaling that right foot up behind you. On the exhale, open up through the hip. Maybe bending into that right knee. Inhale to square it off, and then take that right foot to the top of the mat. If you need to help it with your hands, that's okay. That's where you're at today. We're different today than we are tomorrow. Taking that left knee all the way down to the mat, roll out the hip flexor. This is such an important part of yoga. We really need to, if you have tight hips at all, I recommend doing this every day. Good, when that's complete, curling those left toes under, lifting the left knee, plant down through the hands and take that right foot back to meet the left. Shifting over, option to come down to the knees here or flow through your chaturanga. Flipping it into your up dog or cobra. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Deep cleansing breaths here. Same thing on the other side, kicking that left foot back. Don't take a picture out on your wall like I almost did. Open up through that hip, bending into the left knee. Inhale, square the hips off. Taking that left foot to the top of the mat. Right knee comes down. Roll out the hip flexor. When that's complete, curling the right toes under, lift the right knee, same thing. Shift forward into that plank, come down to the knees or chaturanga. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Good, this time, inhale that right leg back behind you and bring it through. Help it with your hands if you need to. And immediately, find your heel to arch alignment here. So the right heel is in line with that left arch. And cartwheel the hands up into warrior two. So you have a nice bend in that front knee, that right knee. We're extending the arms out in front and behind us, and shoulders are down away from the ears. We're drawing that belly button in, and let that gaze extend out past those front fingertips. Good, generous bend in that front knee. Knife edge of the back foot is really anchoring down here. On your exhale, reverse your warrior. Really extend that right arm up and over. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down to frame that front foot, rotate around on the back foot, and then once more, taking that left knee down, this time straighten through that right leg. Let the toes point up to the ceiling. Maybe you bring yourself up to blocks here. You're shooting those hips out behind you. Where's your breath? Continue to breathe. Good. Bending into that front knee, replacing the right foot down, curling the back toes under. This time step together and then extend those hips out behind you and lift the arms up. Find your chair pose, drawing that navel in. Breathe here. Good. Exhale, find your forward fold. Inhaling up halfway with a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Plant through the hands and step back to downward facing dog. This time, take the left leg behind you, nice and straight. Find that three-legged dog, that standing split. Exhale, left foot comes to the top of the mat. Finding that heel to arch alignment right away. Cartwheel it up. Generous bend in that front leg. Knife edge of the back foot's coming down. I'm going to show you the profile here. Okay, so future before us, past behind us. Here we are in the middle. Good. Really working here. Inner thighs are coming toward the midline of the body. We're smiling. We're loving life. Yes, it gives us challenges, but we're strong enough to weather them, right? Exhale, reverse your warrior. Send that arm up and over. Maybe look down at that back foot. Good. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Frame that front foot. Once again, take that back knee down. And then straighten through that left leg. So sending those hips back behind you. Nice stretch all the way in this leg. Come up to blocks if you need to. Breathing here. Replacing that left foot. Lifting the right knee. Bringing that right foot to meet the left. Once more, come up into chair. You've been here before. We won't be here long. Really sit back in those heels. If you want to challenge yourself, come up onto those toes. Lift those heels. Inner thighs are working. Belly button's in. One more round of breath. Exhale, take it down. Forward fold. Hang out here. Catch your breath. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time, coming back to home base. Breathing. Finding your intention. Noticing what there is to notice and letting go of what we can let go of. We do not have to hold on to all the world's problems, right? All right, so from here, stepping to the top of the mat if you're not already there, shifting the weight into that right foot, big step back with that left. So we're still in crescent pose or high lunge. If this foot were down and at a 45-degree angle, we'd be making our way into warrior one, but we're not. We're staying lifted. Inhale, take those arms all the way up. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Inhale to back out. Exhale, take it down. One more time. This time, pause here. Maybe interlace those fingers behind you. Reach the hands down toward the floor. Children, be quiet. I'm momming and I'm yogaing. What? Multitasking. Good. Inhale, take those arms up. Exhale, frame that front foot. Once more, let's do a chaturanga. Option to come down to the knees or shift into plank. Take it down to cobra or up dog. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Deep breath. Walk those feet up to meet the hands. Slowly rolling it up. One vertebra at a time. Are you guys sweating? I am sweating. All right, hands come to heart center. Shifting the weight into the left foot this time. Big step back with the right. Staying lifted up on that heel for crescent pose. Inhale the arms up, bend into that front knee. Inhale to back out. Exhale, take it deeper. Inhaling out. Exhale into the challenge. Good. Next time you find that bend, pause there, draw everything up and in. Interlace those fingers behind you. Reach the hands back for the floor. Gaze up at the sky. Offer some appreciation or gratitude here, if you can. Good. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, take it down to frame that front foot. Left foot meets back to the right. One more chaturanga. Take it up to upward dog. Back into downward facing dog. And then walk the feet to meet the hands. This time we're walking those feet out to the edges of the mat. We're gonna find garland pose. So, if you have something to sit on, you can. This is totally okay. So if you're here, you're here. The elbows are pressing into the knees are into the elbows. We're opening up through the hips. This is a great hip opener. Hands are at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Or, if you don't have anything and you think your body is good, then you can do a squat here. So we're really pointing the tail down, but we're lifting up through the torso and the heart here. The legs are still working. Breathing, smiling. One more round of breath. Good. One hand comes down in front of you, the other behind, coming all the way down to that seat. Letting the soles of the feet come together for bound angle, Baddha Konasana. And just butterfly those knees out to the side. Good. Breathing here. Finding some stillness when you're ready. So keeping that back nice and flat, nice and straight and extended. Micro movement here. On the exhale, pull the heart forward. Stretching through the hips and the groin. Inhale to back out. Exhale to take it forward. Inhale to back out. Exhale forward. Good. Taking those knees nice and, or legs, I should say, nice and wide. Just shift side to side to start. Okay, if your legs aren't this wide, if God didn't make you hyper flexible, that's okay. You're here. Right? We're just shifting side to side, finding our place. Warming up those obliques a little bit. And then walking those hands out in front of you. Again, trying to keep that back nice and flat. So if that means that you're here, you're barely coming forward, that's okay. Drawing that navel up and in and lifting with the chest to the heart. Maybe walk those hands forward a little further this time. Maybe a little further. Stopping at that first point of resistance though, and always reflecting. Is it too much? If it is, back out. You never want to strain it. Always listen to your body. It is the wisest. It knows more than I know. It knows more than your doctor knows. Your body knows what's up, so listen to it. Good. Exhale, take it up, taking those feet together, legs nice and long, toes pointed up to the ceiling. Finding our staff pose here. So hands are down by your sides, shoulders are down, drawing that belly button up and in. Everything is working here. This is not really a resting pose. Inhale, take those arms up overhead with the flat back. Take it forward, reach for those feet. Maybe you're at your shins or your knees, that's okay. And then from there, allow the spine to round forward. Maybe you take a block on your legs and let the forehead come down. Maybe you reach for your toes. Just do whatever feels good here. Inhale to walk those hands up. And then coming into a half Lord of the Fishes variation. So you're pointing that right knee forward, and the left foot comes on the outside of that knee. So you may need to adjust. You're trying to get both sits bones down and hug in that left knee. So maybe this is where you stay. This is certainly a nice enough stretch. This is perfect. Or maybe you reach that left arm behind you. So we're shifting the weight into both sits bones, sitting up nice and tall, and finding that right elbow on the outside of the left knee. So drawing that belly button in, supporting the lower back, finding a twist here. If this feels uncomfortable, if there's too much here, you can always be doing it with one leg extended. Oh, that's the wrong way. You can do it with one leg extended here, right? Or maybe you don't do that at all. Maybe you just have one foot on top of the knee and take it forward. You've got to find the variations that work best for you. All right, taking it to the other side. So this time, our left knee is pointed forward, right foot is on the outside of that left knee, hugging that right knee into the chest. Again, you can stay right here. This is perfectly fine. Or sweep around that right hand, coming to the back, making sure both sits bones are down. Left elbow coming to the outside of that right knee. Drawing that navel up and in, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale to release. Come back to center. Knees pointing up to the sky, maybe walking it down your mat a little further. Extending those arms out in front of you. Start to take it down, one vertebra at a time, all the way down here. Good. I'm gonna turn sideways for you guys. So knees are pointing up to the sky. We're walking those heels in toward the bottom here. Hands are reaching for the heels. We're going to do a bridge series real quick. So draw the navel in toward the spine. Connect all four corners of the feet into the mat. Tuck the chin slightly so that the back of the neck is long. And on your exhale, pressing into all four corners of the feet, lift the hips, engage those thighs, those glutes, those quadriceps, hamstrings. Exhale, lower down. Now you can continue to do this at your own pace, inhaling up. Exhale to lower down. Maybe you want to engage the arms, so inhale, take the arms up and over. Exhale, lower down. One more time, inhaling up. Exhale, down. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, down. Finding that right foot on top of the left knee here. Let that right knee hang out to the side. Maybe reaching through that space, interlacing the fingers behind that left knee. Exhale, draw the legs in close. I think I did this in my last video. I love this pose. It's so good for the hips and the hamstrings. Hang out here for one more breath. Lowering it all the way down. Replacing that right foot and then taking the left foot on top of that right knee. If this is a challenging stretch for you, then you can stay right here. That's totally fine. You don't need to reach through. If you do want to challenge yourself and deepen the stretch, then reach those hands through that space. Interlace the fingers behind the left knee. The right knee, I mean. Exhale, draw the legs into the body. Option always to back out. Good. When that's complete, lowering it down and then taking both knees up into the armpits. Right? Go ahead and just point and flex the feet. Maybe do some ankle circles here. Crack. And then finding the soles of the feet up on the ceiling, you can take your peace fingers around your big toes, or maybe you grab onto the outer edges of the feet. Some people even grab on the insides, the inner arches of the feet. It's totally up to you. We're making our way into happy baby. So wherever you are, grabbing onto your feet, and maybe you begin rocking side to side. When that's done, zipping those legs up, bringing the knees into the chest. Go ahead and hug them in. Let that head, neck, and shoulders come up off the mat. Curl up into a little ball. Exhale, lower the head back down. And then finding the hands on the outsides of the knees, on the shins maybe. Draw some circles on the ceiling with the knees. This is such a great lower back massage. Reversing the direction of your circles when you're ready. Good. Lowering the soles of the feet down to the mat, taking those legs as wide as the mat. Just windshield wiper the knees side to side at your own pace. Extending those legs out nice and long, zipping those feet up, kick those blocks out of the way if you need to. Extending the arms up overhead, so you're finding this nice long stretch here. And on the exhale, you're going to kick the feet over to one corner, arms over to the same corner, and extend the hips over in the opposite direction. So you're in a banana or a crescent moon shape. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, take it over in the opposite direction this time. Inhale, come back to center. Let those those legs kick out to the sides. Let the arms rest down by your sides. As we make our way into our final resting pose, our Shavasana, allow yourself to really surrender. If you think that you have surrendered, go ahead and surrender some more. So let those muscles fall away from the bone. Really allow yourself to melt into the earth. Trusting, knowing, having faith that this universe is supporting your every move, allowing it to guide you. Come back to your regular pattern of breathing. Try to clear the mind and let yourself fall into our final resting pose, Shavasana. You have the option, and I encourage you to stay here for at least a few more minutes. I like to take at least 5 minutes for Shavasana. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to go ahead and find some movement in the hands, the feet, the fingers, the toes, rocking that head side to side, massaging the crown. Finding one more morning stretch. Bringing those knees up toward the sky, rolling over to your favorite side, making a pillow with your bicep. And finding in this moment some gratitude for the time that you have to spend on yourself. When you're ready, pressing up to a comfortable seated position, nice and slow. Finding those hands at heart center, sitting up nice and tall. Maybe allowing those thumbs to press against the third eye. Thank you so much for watching this video. The light within me honors and acknowledges the light within each and every one of you. Namaste. Have a great day, everybody.